So I love cyber insurance. I've written about it. I've written numerous articles about it. I've got numerous posts about it, and I do think that it is a phenomenal piece of the puzzle. Okay, and so when I first, in case somebody doesn't know, what is cyber insurance? It's basically like regular insurance, except it's meant to protect against this sort of stuff, or rather to insure against this sort of stuff. I first came across it back in 2014. A client of mine had suffered a breach. The perpetrators took $2 million, and they were insured, and we didn't even know like what this was, and they got that $2 million back. And if not for that, I think they would have went bankrupt, right? But because of that, though, some people do have a slight misunderstanding, and they'll say, hey, well, if I have insurance, do I need a backup? Do I need this kind of security in place if I have the insurance, right? Here's here's why that's false, right? There's really two reasons for why that's false. One of the reasons is we have to understand that insurance can only help you out in situations that can be helped out with money. As an example, let's say you have the KFC secret recipe sitting on one server somewhere, and that access to that recipe, to that information, is basically the backblood of your your entire business, and somebody locks that down. No amount of money can pay to get that back unless you have access to those actual files. So then the thought is, well, I'll pay the bad guy. The bad guy will give it back to me. It's often the case where people do pay and they still don't unlock the stuff, right? So insurance, again, can only pay for the things that can be paid for with money. There are some things that simply can't be bought. On a smaller scale level, what if I have all these beautiful family photos sitting on one server and I get locked out of that server? Again, insurance can't buy those photos back if they're not sitting anywhere else. So that's one of the things that we have to consider where insurance simply can't compete with backups in that sense. But the other thing that we have to consider is somebody was telling me some stats, a president of an insurance organization I've done a lot of collaboration with. I really respect this guy. And he was telling me how in 2020, insurance organizations in Canada generated, X amount of revenue, but they paid out X amount more in payouts. So they're losing money on cyber insurance right now. And that's to be expected when you have a product that is relatively new. In the grand scheme of things, if you look at car insurance, auto insurance, it's existed for way longer than cyber insurance, and insurance industries really understand auto insurance and how that works, right? So they're still kind of learning with regard to the world of cyber insurance. But when we know, as long as we know that they're losing money on that, what does that mean? That means they're going to be aggressively tightening up those controls. Okay, so if you're of the mindset of, oh, I'm just going to buy insurance, and then, if trouble happens, I'll get these guys to insure me. Don't have to worry about the security. Don't have to worry about the backups. Most likely the people who approach going forward with that kind of attitude, they're going to be in for a very scary surprise when they do get hit and they go to collect their money, because there's probably going to be a clause now in that insurance saying, you didn't have the proper backup. You didn't have proper training. You didn't have proper this. We're not going to pay you because of that. Right. So just like any insurance, whether it's a house, there are clauses where people won't pay. So that I love insurance, but as a part of an overall solution, not as a replacement for it. The same way with car insurance. I have car insurance. I have home insurance, but I also still, got trained on how to drive. I also still have a seatbelt. I also still put many safety protocols in place. That is a last resort that will help with certain aspects of recovery.